Goodness.
Here we are. Oh my goodness. So excited. My excitement knows no bounds.
I know. It's so
I hear that.
Yeah. I guess we'll wait a second for people to join. But hello, everyone that's going to join. Oh no, we've got 10 people watching. Okay, hello. It just pops up out of nowhere.
Hey!
Hi.
We are so excited to be here. Welcome to the first live show of the Summer of Tessa Dare read along. Oh my goodness. We are here. We've already been gushing about these books before coming on here. Like, we're just so ready. We are so ready. Hello. This is my mom. Hi, Mom.
Aww.
I love that.
That was so adorable.
Hello, hey, Monica. Hello, everyone. It's so good to see all of you in the chat. Yay.
Great.
How's everyone doing?
I
Let us know in the comments. Let us know if you're reading Tessa Dare for the first time.
Oh, yes.
I'm rereading these books for the first time. I've reread the Girl Meets Duke series before, but this is my first reread of all of these books. So very, very excited to get into it. My mom says, hi, Rachel and book friend.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
I love it.
So yes, definitely let us know your general thoughts of these books. Today we're talking about what I'm calling part 1 of Spindle Cove. So this is A Night to Surrender and then Once Upon a Winter's Eve.
Oh, she's got him.
Ooh. You have a little copy of the novella. Okay.
Yeah. And the novella cover's stunning.
Yes.
Pretty.
Space Chick got this for me, I think, for Christmas.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It was so good. I'm a first-time Tessa Dare reader, so I'm like so excited because when I read the first one, I just loved the whole concept of Spindle Cove.
Yes.
So I think this is like the best way to do it, reading it with friends. And throughout the summer, we have time to dive into the book. So I'm a first-timer, and I'm loving the setting. And she's absolutely hilarious. So I'm having a good time. She was cracking me up. I was like, okay, Tessa.
Yeah, she writes rom-coms, legit rom-coms.
Yes, right?
They're historicals, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I've read all the books already that we're doing for the readathon. I've read them many times, so I don't care. They're all rereads for me. So I'm going to love rereading them too because I haven't reread them in a long time, in like a few years. And so, like, I already tell y'all, star rating got bumped up for one of these books. So, like,
Get out.
Woo!
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
Also, yes, I'm eating my lunch while I'm talking.
It's all good. It's all good. But like I said, this is my first time rereading these books, and I gave A Night to Surrender 5 stars the first time that I read it, 5 stars this time, and then I bumped up my rating for the novella actually. Because the first time that I read it, I gave it like 3 stars.
That's what I did.
I gave it 4 stars. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more. I'm trying to remember if I listened to the audio the first time. I can't remember. But that could have affected my enjoyment. So,
I mean, Mary Jane Wells. I mean, she's going to bump up any rating.
She's amazing. She's just the perfect narrator for Tessa Dare's books. I'm just obsessed.
Yes. Yes. I cannot. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to jump ahead. I was just thinking about Duchess Steele and how she's going to be narrating that. I know we were just talking about that, but I just
so good. It's so good.
Yes. And I've only read Girl Meets Duke, and then I also read Any Duchess Will Do, and but everything else is new. And the ones that I'm going to be rereading, I'm just so over the moon to be.
Wait, so you haven't read Spindle Cove yet either?
No.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm so excited.
So excited for you and so excited for Tiffany and oh my goodness.
Rachel, you haven't read Castles Ever After yet, have you?
I have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you didn't.
I only read all of those books once.
Okay.
A couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But Girl Meets Duke, I've read twice at this point.
Okay. I still have to read. I want to like fit in somehow her like first 2 series. That's not a part of the readathon because I haven't read those yet.
I've read Goddess of the Hunt, which is the first book of, I believe, her first series.
Mm-hmm.
It was just okay. I've just heard like very meh things about those series, so I'm like avoiding them. I'm like, I don't want to read a bad book by Tessa Dare. So
I know.
like,
Do you want to do that? No.
no. Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. Well, I was so excited when Autumn from Nose in a Book, she texted me the other day and she was like, I actually have 2 of these. Do you want one? I was like, yes!
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's so sweet. So, and yeah.
Does that have the step back?
Yes.
Oh, yeah!
What?
Do I have to share the step back? Oh, no. Oh! She beat me to
It's
it.
so pretty.
Oh my God.
I
have the fake one. I love it.
Yeah, I got the fake one too.
I know. Oh, I thought you had
doesn't have the novellas don't have it, by the way.
Right.
And then the sticker, I was like, what?
I know it doesn't come off.
Yeah, there you go. No, it doesn't.
It's like Tessa Dare books, you have to like, it's like a hit or miss whether or not the copy has a step back or not.
It
like,
is.
I have other books in this series that don't have step backs. So.
I'm excited to hunt. It gives me an excuse to just go.
I know, I can't find them anywhere.
I'm going to the bookstore. My local.
I know. I love to need to go to the used bookstore.
Yes. I put in a hit and she told me, she's like, oh, we have Tessa Dare. I'm like, well, I will be by because I have to just go in and just search and see what you have. And then I'm going to come out of there with like 40 books. I'm trying not to do that. But
I actually went yesterday and then I got a Joanna Shoup. So I was like, I was excited about that.
Ooh.
Yeah, they didn't have Tessa Dare, but you never know. Hit or miss, Anyway.
Just by the way, the Amazon books for all of these, the Amazon ones never have the step back, so you're never gonna find them.
Okay.
Good to know.
I did get the step backs randomly for like some of the Castles Ever After books from Amazon.
See, I did it.
Oh, okay. I got the step backs for like Yes to the Marquis and Scott Ties the Knot.
I did it for book 1. Book 1, Victoria sent for me, I think, for like my birthday or something, and I didn't have one.
Yeah.
But then the other 2 books do, but I don't think I got them on Amazon. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's Justin, you liking the novella? I really enjoyed the novella. I was surprised by it because she covered a lot in it. And
she does that in her novellas. Tessa Dare's novellas are like, feel like they're not novellas, you know? Like they feel like full entire stories. And I can't wait for y'all to read the other 2 novellas a part of the series. I love them so.
Yeah, the other novellas are really great. Yeah,
I can't wait.
They're really
I can't wait too because the audiobook was great. And is this her first series?
This is her first series with Avon. She had published like 2 series before this with like a smaller independent publisher. And so I just wanted to read just her Avon books. I just wanted to those for that. But yeah, why don't we just get into A Night to Surrender?
Yes! Let's do it. I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness. Like, where do we even start? Where do we start with talking about this book?
Oh my gosh.
What about Colin and his energy talking to this guy? I love it when he was like, all right, you guys, we're going to show these women.
Oh my God.
Look at me. And then look at you guys. Now look at me again.
Right.
Like,
He was Colin, of course.
commercial. You remember that commercial? Now look at you. Now back to me.
Yes.
Is this guy for real? Anyway.
Start with the sheep.
I love dinner.
And then like, what was it? It was like Colin who comes up with the brilliant idea to like blow shit up.
Yeah, right.
Like, dynamic between we've got Bram, who I feel like is like a balance of like Colin and Thorne's very different energy.
Yes.
And then, like, then you've got Colin and Thorne. Like these 3 men are like so different from each other. Like,
yes.
There were like 2 different types of masculine because Bram was like just like a battering ram with like everything while also being broody, but like felt insecure about being broody. You know, he was like very I will this to happen. And I think what I noticed between this book and the novella was like her comedic meet cutes. Like they literally collide.
Yes,
literally.
In both of them. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and it's like so idyllic. And of course, she's sitting there, she's trying to play up Spindle Cove to save this young woman, okay, from and then this happens, and like beating these men, and they just I just love how they collided. And from the very beginning, I wasn't expecting there to be a kiss. I wasn't, and I felt like that was a great way to introduce Bram, because I was like, oh, okay, this is who we're dealing with. So.
Yeah, because I feel like Bram is an interesting hero. He's not just grumpy broody, like Thorn is. Yeah, he's very grumpy broody. He definitely has like a flirtatious side to him. And like, yeah, like they literally collide and he kisses her. It's just like, what? What is happening?
It was definitely love at first sight for him. Like it was love at first sight. Love at first crash.
Love at first crash.
Yes.
And I love how he's basically telling her, oh my gosh, you're an angel, you're beautiful. And she's like, this guy hit his head. Like, is he okay?
I know. That's right.
Oh no.
Yes.
It's just, man, she knows how to start her books.
Mm-hmm.
Like
she does.
Yeah. I did like, because like this is my first time reading. So when she gets into explaining like what Spindle Cove is, like what is it to women, why this like tour means so much, like when they're all pretending to like knit and do needlepoint.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. This is where they're sending women that they don't know what to do with in society. But here, like, I like the idea that there weren't any men, that they could pursue their passions, that they could grow into themselves, that they could,
yes.
I really like the concept of, I want to go. Like, I want to go to a space. Yeah. I would love a retreat. Because I think it was actually pretty far reaching for its time. And I really liked how that was all set up and how they all supported each other. And it was kind of like their secret, because when the men arrive, there's something at risk. Okay.
Yeah.
They're messing up the situation. Okay.
Yeah.
So I love that.
I love just the idea of like these men coming out of nowhere, and then they have to form this militia with the men that are in this. Well, because they got like Finn and like his twin are like kids, and like this random mix of people from the town.
That was hilarious. He's like, the men in Spindle Cove are different. Like, wait a minute.
I love it.
I love when I laughed out loud when you have all of them together. Okay, and of course Colin's like, I want to go into town. I don't want a quiet, idyllic town. I need something seedy. And they get there looking for a tavern, and it's the tea shop.
Yes.
I was like, this town is not for you, okay? That I loved.
Oh my god, that was some of my favorite scenes in this book are those two scenes with Colin. One where he's teaching these men how to flirt with women.
Yes. Yes.
And he gives them sayings to say, and they immediately just fuck them up when they get into the tavern, into the tea shop.
Out of control.
Yes. Just absolutely unreal. Yeah, and then he's like, come on, men, we're gonna take our tavern back.
I was like, Colin. He's so cool. I thought it was really sweet, the moment that they had as brothers, where he was like, basically Bram's like, what are you doing here? Because the second time they go in and kind of like disrupt their evening and it doesn't end up well. I cannot wait for is Colin's books next, because I was tracking.
Yes, I started it today.
Oh, you started already?
I just started a little bit of it.
Yeah,
it's good already.
Okay, because Minerva said in this book, she's not checking for a rake. She's not checking for someone who cares about whether she's wearing glasses or not. They're going to care about her character. And I'm like, let me just tab this really quick and see. Because she's going to go for the exact opposite in terms of packaging. Because I thought it was really interesting that he couldn't sleep. I thought there was something more there that I'm intrigued by when it comes to Colin, because he was so adamant about like finding a woman and I need like party fun, rah, rah, rah. But it seems like there's more to why he can't sleep without something else there. And I
sleep alone.
That was an interesting moment where I was like, okay, there's a lot more to Colin here.
Oh yeah,
can't sleep alone. They both have trauma.
Yeah. It just made me want to snuggle him when he said that. I'm like, you sweet little thing.
I was like, you can snuggle up. That's
You're gonna be very happy with the start of the next book.
Oh yeah, it's a fan favorite for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
This one I wasn't expecting. It had a little bit of a forbidden element too, because he's going there, to ask her father for his position back. And like, I wasn't expecting her to be like the daughter of the man that he's petitioning for a job. Oh, I can't wait.
It's funny how I keep talking about Colin. We're like,
I know. He had so many standout moments in this book.
And so does Minerva. I'm like, because she's like, I love how this book set up their story so well, because I love how she put him in his place. Like, how dare you? And he was so ridiculous. He was such a guy in that scene. Like, oh, so you're mad that I never flirted with you. That's what's going on here. Like,
Melinda.
Yes, Miranda. I'm like, yes.
I was so sad when I started the novella, and I'm like, this isn't Colin and now I forget. I almost said Miranda. This isn't Colin and Minerva. And I'm like, okay, actually, I'm glad, because they need a full.
They need a full book for sure. Yeah, this first book, there's just so many standout scenes. I love the scene when he's actually trying to recruit men for the militia, and Susanna is in the way, and she's like, well, I want to enlist. And he's like, no. And and oh my God, that's such a funny scene.
I'm
a man just like these twins are men.
Right.
Oh.
And that was sexy too, because one, I was like, she's really willing to put her neck out for this town, and to protect everybody. So I really love that. I love what it kind of reveals too, a little bit, a little foreshadowing with the hair moment. In terms of like what she's been through. And then it was also just like really sexy, because he's like, fine, you want to enlist? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sure. We're going to get you a uniform. Let me. I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, these breeches are working for him. Like, everything between them was just like such a moment.
Yes. Yes.
And the moment with the hair, it's just like, low-key, like a really cute moment, because he's like, okay, well, you have to cut your hair, and then she goes to do it, and he's like, wait, her hair's beautiful, don't cut your hair.
Who's gonna call whose bluff?
He's like, can you get mine? And I'm like, anything to get her hands on him. Oh, that there was one quote in here. I know I have a tab, but there was one quote where I just thought it was such a stud moment. He's so like forwardly, like flirtatious and like physically affectionate. But when he goes to her father's home and like is invited to dinner, and it was just kind of like, a surprise, like it just kind of happened. When he walks in and he sees her dressed, he had never seen her dressed in like evening wear. And he says that like she looked beautiful. She looked like home. Like the way he just roamed her body. I'm like, but like, calling her like she looks like she's been waiting for me. Of course, Bram. She's been waiting for you. But the way he talks about the fabrics and like how she looks, I'm like, this is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love the way that he saw her.
Yeah.
It's very physical and affectionate at first. It's like, like he can't get enough. And that's also why I liked where she checked him. Like, we can't marry for lust. Like, so I think she balanced that with their backstories and how like you can kind of see like he's a ooey gooey inside and he's hurting. And also like she was just a MacGyver. Like she was constantly putting out little fires. I loved how she helped him to that scene in the water where she's like, oh, I'm gonna like take you to meet me afterwards at the ocean, and he thinks like this is gonna be a rendezvous, and she's like, no, I'm waiting this leg. Like I thought that was really cool too. Just
that was. Yes, I loved that. And how she would give him a kiss every time he came back. Oh, I loved that so much. That was so cute.
Something that stood out upon reread for this book for me was that, like, you can tell physical touch is a huge love language for Bram. And I love how Susanna clocks that, like, right away, because he says something like, you just need to be ravaged. And then she's like, you just need a hug.
Yeah.
It was like, damn, she's right.
I love that.
Yeah, he was just like a little walking, like even when he's in their house, like he doesn't even feel proper accepting the invitation to dinner. Like when he's looking at their photos and he's like, I haven't been in a home like this since I was a child. Like they're just not for me. This isn't for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you know. My father was the second born and I'm the second born, and I'm like, what is going on? He just needed a big hug and some love, and she knew that.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, and forgive me if sometimes I mix up my books, so I'm sorry if I did, but I think that this is it. He saying like he's always just lusted with women, and this was the first time he really let himself feel affection. And it was just so much more powerful just doing that. He just he's never ever been just affectionate with a woman. I think
both of these heroes were like that, B. I think both of them were.
Oh, that's maybe, you know what? That's the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Christian. I think
because like he's like
Bram was also like that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
We'll get to Christian and his secrets.
Oh, right. Secrets.
Okay. Because I was like,
I will say, I loved the scene when they're together for the first time because it is not conventional whatsoever.
Have you noticed? Did y'all notice that all of the sex scenes happened outside?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Didn't she say she's like, I'd like to be in a bed?
Yes.
Oh yes.
I died when I read that. Oh my god.
I was like, oh my god.
It's like they couldn't help themselves. Like they could not help themselves.
No, they could not. No.
I absolutely loved it. And I loved, was it Minerva who caught them?
Oh,
Save you?
yes. Yeah. Ow. Ow. Yes.
I missed. Oh, what's her name? What's the last name?
God, that was so
Minerva.
funny.
Minerva's last name?
No, Finch. She goes, don't worry, Miss Finch. I'll save you.
You are being
Minerva. And the way she had to like check her, like you didn't see what you think you saw. I was like, how dare she? But
and then so like both times she hits people with her bag of rocks, they're like, what's in there? Rocks? And she's like, duh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
A bag of rocks. What's going on with the rocks?
full of neglections. Okay, with aim. I don't want anywhere there be real thing.
Hey!
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I legit thought it started at 3. I just got out the shower and I saw Avery's message and I was like, no.
Here we are.
Hi guys.
Hey.
We're talking about our favorite scenes.
Yeah, we're just talking about standout moments in A Night to Surrender, but you should give us your like general thoughts and all that.
Sure. Okay, so A Night to Surrender, I listened to on audio and I really loved it. I gave it a 4 stars. And then I didn't like the novella. Like, I gave that one 2 stars.
We'll get to the novella in a bit, but
okay.
we know your general.
Well, you know my thoughts, anyways. Yeah, but I really did love the narrator. I think this is the first time I've listened to her narrate audiobooks. I think she's like Tessa Dare's like most of her books, right?
Yeah.
But I really liked it. I was listening to it on 3 times speed because I was trying to get it finished, and like I could still understand everything. Like sometimes I can't do that with certain narrators, especially with historicals. So I was really, I feel like the narration almost made me want to give it an extra star, but I kept it at 4 stars. I did like it a lot.
Yeah. yeah, the narration was really well done.
Did we all see our ratings for this book?
Oh, there we go.
I gave mine, but I don't think you guys gave yours.
I rated this 4 stars as well.
5.
The my rating has always been 4. I think this is my 3rd time rereading this.
So she's
and now it's 5. Now it's 5.
Yeah.
She's a solid 4.
I didn't find the fault. I think in my review in the past, because you can see my old Goodreads review on there, I wrote like I was sick of Bram being so stoic and not going for her and blah blah blah. But like now it's like I thought it was a perfect amount for me this time around. You know, like that shows that you like grow in your reading taste, I guess.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. It's interesting that you said that about Bram because I was like, this man loves her. He's proposing like a bajillion times.
Yeah. I know. That's why I was like, why did I write that in my review? I felt like he was like going all for it.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot of people on Goodreads give this book 3 stars. And so I remember going into this book with very low expectations because of that. And so when I gave it 5 stars, both this time around and the first time that I read it, I was like shocked that I loved it so much. And I've seen like a major criticism of the book is that Bram can be, he has like antiquated views of women, I guess. But like Susanna challenges him every step of the way and he changes.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe if it was a contemporary romance, I can see that. But with it being a historic romance and him growing up in a military setting, like to me, it made sense where his views came from. And he acknowledged her strength and, you know, her passion and her intelligence. So I was like, I didn't really find him overbearing. The reason I only gave it 4 stars instead of 5 stars is because the ending conflict for me, I was like, it almost felt like too much. Like I was like, kind of came out a little left field for me. I didn't really get the whole thing with the dad. So I was just like, that was the only reason I gave it.
Her dad made me mad. I will say that. Her dad made me mad.
Yeah. It takes a turn for sure. But I think Tessa Dare does a good job of transitioning us from like the funny, lighthearted part of the book to the more serious part of the book because of both Bram and Susanna's backstories. Those are both very serious topics.
Right.
And I had never read, I don't think I've ever really read a historical before where a heroine was treated the way that Susanna was with like the doctors and like all the treatments that she went through. And like, that was crazy.
Queen Charlotte, y'all.
Yes. I was reading Queen Charlotte at the same time I was reading this one. And I'm like, they're doing the same stuff. I mean, the same, I don't think there were leeches, but yeah, it was like the same kind of mental health stuff.
And for me, I really loved that her backstory was tied to her sort of like reasons for why she feels like she needs to protect Spindle Cove for women. Why in the very beginning, like this tour and like getting this young woman, like just a little safe, like respite, even if it's for like a month, just to like, you know, find herself. Like I loved that we got the reason for why she's doing this for others. Because she could have just like kept it to herself. And also like why she was basically the right woman for him because she could see his she could see the things that he needed. And then she could challenge him. She does challenge him every step of the way.
Yeah, I like that about her a lot. There were so many, it was funny. Their banter was really funny. That was what I loved.
Tessa Dare's banter is like another
There's
level.
a sea of A+ banter in here.
Yeah.
He wants to ask for her hand in marriage.
Oh, yeah.
The secret. That scene was A+ banter. It was absolutely hilarious. How like the turns of phrase.
I love that.
Dude, it was so freaking good. I'm like, this is out of control. And I loved when he checked her father. Like, is not your legacy. The canon is not your legacy. Your daughter is. And that's when I saw that Bram had changed. Because he was very like, this is happening. You're a distraction. You stay away from me. I'll keep my men away from your women. I need to work. But when he was all up in her face, I'm like, Bram, you can't have it both ways.
Stay away.
That's right.
I didn't know Tessa Dare's books were so steamy. Like they could not keep their hands off of each other. I don't remember the Duchess still being like that because I've only read for
it is
only read The Duchess Deal. I haven't read anything else.
It is. It is.
Remember. Anyways, I was like, wow, they cannot keep their hands off each other. I like it.
And that's why I love her so much. She balances truly hilarious scenes and moments with sweet, swoony, and sexy romances.
Yes.
With, I mean, just dynamic characters.
Yeah.
A+ banter.
Yeah.
The banter.
Like everything to me is just there with pretty much every book I've read by her.
And I love the emotion and the love scenes. That's everything for me. And there, in every Tessa Dare book I've read, there's always like, I mean, they just what am I saying? I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. The way there's always something like super important to the plot that happens while they're intimate. I mean, and that's one thing I loved about this one. She, at one point when he's like, tell me you're mine. And she's like, how about this?
Yes.
And I just loved it so much. She's like, actually, I belong to myself, but I'm choosing to share myself with you.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, that's actually better. And I was there's always a love scene that's like, wow, this takes the relationship to the next level. It helps me understand both of them better. Like the things that they say when they're intimate. You know, you can't just fast forward through that or whatever. You know, you've got to really pay attention to what they're saying.
That's a standout moment in this book for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
That was a good scene for sure.
Yeah.
I also, go ahead, Tiffany. Go ahead. No, I was just going to quickly say, like, it's so funny too, because every time they had like a little rendezvous or, you know, like time together, like Minerva or someone would say something in front of the other women for all of them to just like look at her and wait for her to say something. Like, they all knew what was going on. And she was like, anyway, so.
Right. I love this small town feel of Spindle Cove. Like this will give you everything you need if you are someone that loves like contemporary small town romances.
Yes.
This has that vibe.
Yes.
Yeah. Or like a found family trope, like that. Yeah.
I love that.
And I love her transitions too. Like I like her transitions because their thoughts mirrored each other. So like when he first starts training the militia, I remember there's a line in here where they're asking like, how many times is he going to make them do this? Because the women, of course, on their walk, stumble across them training and get distracted talking about, I just want to take a rest here. I love that. How they
Yeah.
And like, you know, Susanna's like, oh, well, he's going to do it until they get it right. And then the next line was like Bram saying, they have to get this right. Like they're constantly, I love how she transitioned the scenes. I thought that was really cool. How she mapped it onto each other and mapped their trauma onto each other and mapped like it just, I thought that was pretty, she's just a smart writer.
Yes.
And it's hilarious. Like the comedy was there. And I wasn't expecting that. And I wasn't expecting actually comedy to be like in the steam as well. Like
Yes. Oh, I love it.
And their banter, they have like amazing banter during those scenes as well. Like Tessa Dare banter is completely unmatched for me. Like
I agree. Yeah. I don't know, because I had only read one book and that was a while ago. Like I was surprised by how funny the book was. Like I think I laughed so many times. My favorite scene, if I had to pick one scene in such a small moment, is when she goes in and sees the lamb and asks his name and he's like, dinner, and she's like, hello. Yes. So funny. It was so funny. I just loved that.
On the I don't like the new cover at all, but I think it's funny how they put dinner on the cover.
They did put
but I don't like that cover. But like that's funny that dinner's on the cover.
I think that's absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
I love the end when they're on I think they're marching, right? And like for the review or whatever they're trying to attempt. And it's got the bell, right? There's a bell, right? Like am I wrong?
Yeah, the mascot. Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
And then the crest is a lamb too.
That's right. When they're like, I mean, they just do such an about face because initially, aren't they looking for mint jelly and stuff like that?
Oh,
who can find the mint jelly? That's my family's always about lamb and mint jelly. So I was like, They would appreciate that.
That was so cute that they had to. It did have a small town feel when they both had to work together, like where they both were working together for like the showcase. So they both set out their like sort of like marching orders. You know, I love that how they all had to like come together to make that happen. That was really, really cute.
Oh, that was. And I know you guys already talked about it, but when the two of them are talking to her dad, when she just comes up with the ball off the top of her head, but I can't remember. I have to find the page, but when everything he said, where she just sort of went off of something he said, and it wasn't at one point he said something about, he goes, we need to talk about sex. And she's like, there's no way I can do this. And she goes, oh, no, wait, the genders, the two genders and how.
Yeah, like the sexes. We were talking about the sexes.
Yeah. Because at first she's like, there's no way I can play off that. And then she figures it out or something like that.
It's like a masterclass in improv. I was like, I literally watching improv happening on the page. It was so freaking hilarious. I'm like, this is so good. How is she going to get out of this?
Yeah. And there's at one point where I think Bram even like shuts up, where he's like, I'd love to see where you go with this.
Yes, he does. Yes. Yeah, and there, I wish I could see the look on his face. You can imagine, but I bet, oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. Yes.
So good.
So good.
This would be a good, now that you say to see the look on his face, this would be a good adaptation. This whole like,
yes.
Oh my God.
I was thinking that too. Like, I mean, people, there's a lamb that's so cute. I mean, there's all kinds of things for different people. They would all love it. You know,
there's a lot of scenes that I can see very clearly in my mind that I just think would make hilarious television. Like, oh my God, it would be so good.
But no, Any Duchess Will Do.
I know. When they start on Any Duchess Will Do, I love
it. I'm so excited to reread these books.
I know.
That one I want to see on screen so bad. That was my favorite in the series.
This is what we need to do. Okay, so we've got the Julia Quinn series. We need to write a letter to somebody, Netflix, whatever. We're like, okay.
Shonda Rhimes.
That's right. Shonda Rhimes, help us out.
I know. If you buy it, you better shoot it. I want them to do like a limited like series on Spindle Cove would be good.
Yeah, like a small like mini series, so you could touch on the different characters.
Yeah,
mini series. Yeah, that would be good.
It would be so good. I mean, there's got to be the people that want to see it now. I mean, now that everybody's in Bridgerton. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Like Tiffany's like over there smiling. She's like, "Let me see."
Yeah, like they
work your movie.
I'm saying stuff from work when they're like, "Does anybody have any ideas?" Yes, and then now they want to hear what I have to say. I had to do like a whole pitch. I was like doing a whole pitch. Kennedy's got picked up, but like I have the pitches now. They want to listen. Okay, it's been years. I'm like I've been harping on this, so I'm happy the door's been open. But they buy a lot of stuff and they don't make it. Like that's what happened with Beverly.
Oh my gosh!
They buy the rights, but they don't come out with it.
Yeah.
That's. So
I try to toot my little. I say my like 5, 10, a whole dollar when it's my time to talk at work. About ideas that I have about what needs to be happening.
Right.
I was looking up to get all of the historical romance covers because someone mentioned they don't like cartoon covers. To get the historical romance like clinch covers signed because I saw Tessa Dare at 2 different signings at a Polycon, and then there was one near my house that was just a historical romance signing. Julie Quinn was there too. And Tessa Dare was just the sweetest person imaginable. Like her lines were long because she's Tessa freaking Dare. And she was like, I just can't believe all the people here. And I was like, ma'am, do you not know who you are?
Right.
That's so sweet.
I think she feels terrible about her books right now, like about not being able to come out with anything at the moment. And so I think that she was probably like, nobody's going to want to see me. Like, you know.
So do you know why she can't release The Bride Bet?
Yeah.
So some months back, she came out with a thread on Twitter because she's very active on Twitter, where she was talking about how for some reason her writing process for this book has been all over the place. It's just been like a disaster. And she showed like pictures of like, she has these manila folders of just scenes. She's written scenes, but she can't like put them in an order that makes sense or something. Like, having like, I think it's writer's block. I think she's just having issues right now, and she's just not feeling to be very inspired or whatever. So, I mean, at this point, who knows? But that was like probably a year ago at this point, she came out with that thread.
Her backlist is huge too. So she's written so much. And there's so many authors, historical romance authors, that don't even write historical romance anymore. Like Kerrigan Byrne and okay, my brain is blanking, but there's a lot.
Yeah. And others.
Others, et cetera.
We don't need to go to all of them.
Right, exactly. But I mean, and I know she also has a Spindle Cove novella in the works too, that seemed like it was actually going to come out well before The Bride Bet.
It's called like Love Letters or something.
Yeah, Love Letters from a Lord, or it's something like that. It's I don't know who that's going to center around. But that one would be likely to come out before The Bride Bet just because it's a novella. And it seemed like it was further along in the process.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't really have any, at least not that I've seen very recently, in terms of updates about like when these books would come out. But that was another reason why I wanted to reread all these books too, was because I love her so much. And I was like, okay, well, she's not going to come out with anything like super soon, which is fine. You know, she needs to live her life and you know, do what she needs to do, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I want to have like this dedicated read along to show my love for her, because I still love her so much, you know?
Yes. Well, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did this.
This is an iconic series. I think it was the Ray Kess, because Crystal was reading the Ray Kess. And I think, are there spin-off books to Spindle Cove? Because I think that's the first time I heard about like just the idea of Spindle Cove being mentioned. Like this sort of like respite, safe haven for women where, and I love that concept. I think that was like the first time I heard it. So I didn't know if there's only her books within Spindle Cove or if there were like spin-offs.
Well, there's a spin-off of Spindle Cove in the Castles Ever After series. But and I think Spindle Cove has floated around so much because there's so many, you know, there's like 3 novellas plus like 4 full-length books, something like that. So it's quite the series.
Is she like Lisa Kleypas and Beverly Jenkins, that their characters connect within the different series?
Kind of.
Okay, so the Spindle Cove series, I would say the characters like build off of each other. And I've always think like it's hard to determine the book that Rachel and I are thinking of is Do You Want to Start a Scandal? So like that one, people consider it to be a part of the Castles Ever After series or Spindle Cove. There's like no one really knows because the heroine is the sister to a character from
Spindle Cove.
And then the hero is the brother to the guy of book 2 of Castles Ever After. So like some people consider it to be a part of Castles Ever After, some people consider it to be a part of Spindle Cove. But that's the only, correct me if I'm wrong, Rachel, the only like connection that I see between any of the series.
Yeah, because Castles Ever After for the most part is they're standalones, really. It's just except for that Do You Want to Start a Scandal, the hero being connected to Castles Ever After, the heroine being connected to Spindle Cove. And I think that book also like brought in some other like side characters from Spindle Cove, so it definitely feels like a part of both. But
Kerrigan does it too. Yeah, Kerrigan Byrne does it too. The last book in her Victoria Rebel series became like the first book in the Good Girl series or something like that. The Dark and Stormy Night one. So I guess a lot of maybe that's just a historic romance thing.
Don't get me
probably.
That's what happens with Scarlett Scott's books are like that too. I just realized that too.
Christy Caldwell does it too. Lisa Kleypas, Beverly Jenkins. Yeah, I guess it is a historic romance.
And I love it. They're like Easter eggs, and I'm like, I feel like I get spend more time with them. They feel real, and I'm interested in getting to know her, like Tessa Dara's like worlds more, because then they do start becoming friends. Like I wanted to tap this up because at least with Kerrigan Byrne, her Victorian Rebel series, I think that's the one series where I've gone back. I haven't done full rereads. I have read quotes and things that I've tapped from that series more than anything. Like just because I miss them.
I love that series. Such a good series.
So I'm like interested in doing that with this series because again, like the setting and the whole idea around it and how it is found family and how these women sort of like advocate for each other and they're there for each other and it seems like they find themselves, which is why I did like the novella because it's like she got to go to Spindle Cove. She has, her meet cute. Of course, Bram just completely made that. He should have made it serious. It is war times, okay? But of course, Bram coming in and just, he's a spy and like messing that whole thing up. I like that Spindle Cove, and then she goes back home, and how her time there informs how it is when she goes back home. I really like that idea, so I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well talk about the novella. I mean, there's not going to be too much to talk about, I guess, but yeah, I liked that we were, like Tiffany said, we were centering around a character who had right. Yes, that's so pretty.
I'm like,
where did you even find that?
Yeah.
Aspasia got it for me for Christmas. It was on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon.
Gorgeous.
on time, girl.
That is so pretty. But yeah, I liked that we had a character who went to Spindle Cove for its purpose.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just liked it more this time around. The first time, like I said, I gave it 3 stars. This time I gave it 4 stars. So much happens, I feel like, in this little novella. It's like a 3-hour audiobook.
Yes.
Yeah, I listened to it on audio.
Yeah, there's not much to it, but at the same time, like there's a lot happening. Like Tiffany said, Christian and his secrets.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting it to be a second chance, and I was fully on board with the heroine. There were just moments, things that she said to him that I wish I had language for. Like younger me was like, oh, that's how we should have done it. Because I loved how she advocates for herself and she doesn't trust him. Man, like literally, like you said, man, these men are just washing up on shore. They're just sliding into their little like safe town. They're just like dropping out of nowhere.
Yep.
And I love the caretaking. I love from the very beginning how he's just like, I thought it was because he was a soldier and he hadn't been around a woman in a while, but he's there with purpose, not, espionage and spying like Bram was assuming because they are in the middle of war and there's a little bit of that. But so I liked that it was a second chance and I liked how it's tied to her reasons for being at Spindle Cove and how, we're in a romance. So I want to like be all hard on the heroine and be like, oh, accept it, go with it. And she's like, no, sir. No. Because what you did to me in the past, like, how dare you think that you can just come in and swindle the Mizuagi again? Okay, just take it from me again. You're not gonna like coax this away from me. And I love her little like monologue, her little moment there where she could like say what she needed to say for her former self and her self today. And I don't think that she would be able to do that if she hadn't gone to Spindle Cove. I think that that's what I loved about it too. I did rate the novella. I rated the novella 4 stars because I liked that. And I also I wasn't expecting this too. I don't like long periods of separation with the hero or the heroine unless we're seeing the work that they're doing on themselves in order to unite stronger. That I don't mind. Okay. But like, I'm not, like, why are they together? I'm not a hoe for that. I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, I like forced proximity. That's like my favorite trope. So I did like how, and this was a test of her trusting him. Cause I'm like, thank God we're in a romance. Cause I'm like, is he coming back, girl?
Yeah. I trusted him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If romance, I don't think I would have trusted him.
Me too, because I was like, we're sacrificing our life. You got prospects at this ball. What is happening? You know what I mean? So I was just like, but I really liked it. And then it got a little dark there too. See, Tessa I noticed because I was like, this is a dark moment where she's like in the shop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She gets almost sexually assaulted.
Yeah, I was like, excuse me. What I think that she handled a lot.
I was just thinking, I was like, I don't remember him in the militia. Where'd this guy go?
Yeah, and the things he was saying to her, I was like, oh, this is getting dark.
Yeah, that's the twins' dad.
Yeah, I remember them saying that the dad was like a deadbeat. I remember that from the first, from the first book. I just didn't remember his name, but then she had said something about the twins, and I was like, okay, I got it. Yeah. I did not like the novella at all. I gave it 2 stars.
Uh-oh.
I didn't like it. I just felt like his love for her was so, like, not even base level. It was, like, the below bare mins. It just, like, there were so many moments where she had all of these memories of him and reasons as to why she fell in love with him, and then he was like, "I don't remember any of that." Like, there was one point where she was like, "Do you remember you saved me from a house fire?" And he's like, "Did I?" And I'm just
Yeah, like there's definitely a moment in the novella where he said something straight up like, I don't know, I just looked at you one day and my feelings changed.
I remember he was flirting with another, like, older woman that was rejecting him, and she was like, "You're not gonna waste my time because you don't know how to please me, and one day you're gonna marry someone like her." And
Yes.
Heroin. And then
Yes.
he's like, "Oh, I guess she's okay." Like, what?
He didn't want to tell her that. He didn't want to tell Violet that that's the way that he started being interested in her, was from that other woman's recommendation.
It's very funny though. Very Tessa Dare.
It is.
What
was I wearing? This is what you were wearing. What was I wearing? He's like, I don't know what you were wearing.
Yeah, that thing too. That's why I was fully on board. Where like I'm like, yes, put him to task. We're not whisking away in the closet. You need to tell him what's what first. I need to
I liked her. I liked her strength, but I was like, bro, what do you like about her then? I just didn't. I did not like him at all. I couldn't.
I do think towards the end, maybe it's not quite groveling, but I did get like something from him by the end. I don't know. Like, I feel like by the end he proved feelings for her, but I agree with what you're saying, Samantha, about, I honestly, because it's like, I guess because it's Tessa Dare, I honestly found that funny. Like, the shit about him just like not remembering what she was wearing and like, you know, like.
Okay, but in reality, a lot of dudes out there don't remember what you wore yesterday.
That is true.
He's like, I literally washed up on shore. Okay, I'm supposed to be on site. I'm not on site. I'm here because of you. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, that's how he basically is.
Also, like, the beginning of this novella, once again, Tessa Dare knows how to like start her stories, and I love that they're at this ball. And I love, like, this is such a little detail, but the line like at the very beginning of the novella about like wallflowers and how there's only 4 corners of a room, and so you have to like stake your claim. Like, the heroine, like, she saw the corner and she claimed it, like, and then he just shows up. He just like washed ashore. It just shows up to this ball.
Yeah.
What was that? I was like, what was this? What was it? That Dirty Dancing line? Like, I don't want to see you in the corner again, or like, when I come back, don't be in the corner, or something.
Yes. Oh no, but
I'm like, okay, Dirty Dancing.
Right.
That's great.
Man, it's just it was
but
enjoyable.
His love almost felt like a trauma bond, almost, because like he fell in love with her, and then his brother died, and then he goes off to war, is being tortured, and the good thing that he remembers is her and their walks, and like you know. So I feel like he almost imagined her being like this angel without actually feeling that way. Does that make sense? Like I feel like it was like something that he had in his mind as like what he wanted, and that's what got him through, like, you know, his brother dying and him going off to war. But I feel like if he would have stayed, I don't think he would have felt the same way.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element to that. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And for me, I think what sold me on this novella was really like her, like how much I felt like she had grown, especially when we get the reveal on what happened to her. Like, she didn't share it with anybody. Like, how much she had grown and how much Spindle Cove had helped her so that she could stand up to him because she wanted him. Especially after that, I was like, okay, like, we almost, have to get assaulted up in here, and he needs to be heroic to just show us boots on the ground today, right now, that he's going to be there. Like, I think it was like her growth and her being able to like challenge him that kind of like got me with this. And then, of course, it's just that full-fledged story where I was like, okay, cool, she went to Spindle Cove, and now she's going back to society. And then he does walk up. Okay. At the end.
I love that scene.
I was like, oh, okay, he's back. Because I was like, is he coming? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, Even rereading this, I was like, how does this work out? You know, but yeah, that's
only because it's a romance novel. Otherwise, I'd been like, she's never gonna see him again. Because he was like, I'm gonna propose to you, but actually, it's kind of cold out here, so let's go inside. Now let's get fake married. Now let's do it. He's getting on the boat. And she's like, but is there someone else? I'm like, you didn't want to ask that earlier?
I know, right?
And you obviously really trust him if you still need to ask that question. But I did love when he was getting on the boat, it was serving me like Tristan and Isolde. Remember, I don't know if you've seen that, but when he gets on the boat and he's going off.
Yeah.
In the pink boat. In the pink boat.
In the pink boat.
Yeah, the pink boat, yeah. Only in Spindle Cove. Only in Spindle Cove.
I love how they're like running around Bram too, like trying to keep things secret. Like Bram is so funny.
Yes.
I know.
Is Violet mentioned in the first book? Because I don't remember
her family's name or her name was, I feel like, literally mentioned one time. Okay. Like I can remember seeing her name.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that,
at least had her name there. Okay.
Yeah. And I will say this is my least favorite story in the series. So those of you that read this and were like, I don't know about this, just keep going. Just keep going. You know.
I also wanted to say too, going back to this one, I feel like this one is such an amazing start to this series because you get to like get a feel for the town, because you read in the other books, a lot of the other books like don't take place the whole time in this town.
Yeah.
Like this one does. So I feel like it sets up this beautiful town so well. And in other books in the series, I think this is the only book in the entire series besides Beauty and the Blacksmith, which is the novella that takes place entirely in Spindle Cove.
I think this one takes place mostly in Spindle Cove.
Mostly, but for reasons Rachel and I know about, she does go to like London. They go to London a lot.
Oh, right.
Wait, is this the next book?
That one's the next one, yes. And it's a road trip romance.
Yeah,
so.
this is
in like a carriage or what?
Not in a carriage.
Oh, sorry.
Not in a carriage, because a certain hero has trauma with carriages, so they have to travel. It's Colin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
so
confused. How are they traveling? Like a train?
God, I can't even remember.
In many different ways. They have to figure out. They figure out
that's a part
to travel. Then that doesn't work anymore. They figure out another way to travel. Then that doesn't work anymore.
This is literally just hijinks, kissing lessons,
banter.
Banter. Like,
you're in a small carriage.
Oh, I cannot wait to get into this book.
Oh my God, y'all! Like, I'm so excited for.
Is that your favorite, Rachel? Is that one your favorite?
Oh, that's a good one.
Of the series, it's a toss up between this one and Any Duchess Will Do.
Yeah, mine's Any Duchess Will Do.
Yeah.
But then also Beauty and the Blacksmith is my favorite novella.
I love that novella.
That novella is absolutely fantastic.
It's so good, y'all. It is so good. I know we could just advertise this series for
I know.
years.
I'm just saying, y'all, like, people think that this is the like least best book in the series. Yeah. So just like know that like it's
that one
better and better. Yeah. They think that a lot of people think that this is the least best book in the series.
Oh, I am so excited.
You know, right? There's just nowhere to go but up, basically.
I know.
Right?
The way that people feel about this book is the way that like Cold Hearted Rake from the Ravenels by Lisa Princess. People think that about this book, you know?
Okay. Wow. Well, then I support you because I thought that was a perfect first book.
Yeah, that's how it felt. I'm like, this is the perfect start to it.
Yeah,
so I was like,
it was so.
It just gets better. It just gets better.
Because all the setup for Minerva and Colin's book, I love.
Yes.
Okay, so
Minerva and Colin are next.
Yes.
Minerva's so smart, and she's so savvy, and like, and she does not like that her younger sister was helping him with his sleep. So I'm sure they're gonna come up with some sort of arrangement. I mean, I would try to barter with this. He was so ridiculous when she confronted him.
Oh my God, their dynamic is just so funny and so unique.
Yes,
and like I feel like Tessa Dare does she doesn't write a lot of rake heroes, but when she does something different with them, and it's just so entertaining. It's just so good.
Like Minerva and Colin traveling together.
Yes, exactly. And Tessa Dare's heroines too, like, are always different. Her heroines are never ever the same, which is something I adore about her writing. Is with historical romances, you get a lot of heroines that are very similar, you know. But Tessa Dare makes sure to write each and every one very different in like a good way.
Yeah, she does.
I need to make a prediction because Colin's not going anywhere unless it has to do with some money. So she has to offer him some. This got to involve some money because he's only in Spindle Cove because he can't have access to his inheritance unless it's through Bram. So I need to know what she's paying him for. Anyway, I can't wait.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Money and that comfort,
Yes.
Yes.
So speaking of, our next live show is going to be for the next 2 books in the Spindle Cove series. So we have A Week to Be Wicked. This is Colin and Minerva's road trip crazy ass romance. It is one of my favorites of the series for sure. Probably top 2, like I said. And then we have A Lady by Midnight. And this one is going to be Corporal Thorne and Kate.
Thorne?
Yeah.
And Kate, like the piano instructor.
Oh
I
my gosh.
Ma'am, I
Thorne
see.
is so icy.
I know.
Rachel, you'll get this, but I haven't reread this in a while. But when I reread it, and the whole scene when he sees her for the first time, and like I think Bram, in his point of view, is even like, I've never seen Thorne have that expression before.
Yes, he does.
What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll read it when you read. You'll get it when you read the book because it like talks about that point. But like,
so excited to reread these for the first time. So our next live show is going to be June 4th on Samantha's channel. Yay! So excited!
Coming up quick. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm going to start my rereads very soon for sure.
I'm going to continue A Week to Be Wicked like right after this.
yes,
I started this afternoon. I'm so excited.
Oh, I need to start. I'm like trying to track all my favorite quotes. I'm excited. How did you feel about Colin? Really quick, Samantha. I just want to know your thoughts on Colin.
No, I loved him. I thought he was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just he's crazy. Like, God, once again, that scene where he's telling the men how to flirt with women, and he says that women's breasts are like alabaster orbs.
And then, did anyone notice that when one of the twins was asking like Minerva's youngest sister to dance, he made sure to say, "Your eyes are like alabaster."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because he also said something like the line is supposed to be like, I think your hair is like a river of something.
A river of silk, maybe.
And then he said something like about like her eyes or something, or but like it didn't make sense then because he said something like a river of diamonds or something. It was wrong. It was just like
I thought it was hilarious. He kind of gave me like frat boy energy a little bit, just like so ridiculous and young and funny. Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah.
And then he would like be thoughtful in moments where he's like, I'm trying to be a brother. I'm trying to do this family thing. That's why I'm here. Because Bram's like, go away. Like, why are you even here?
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to mention I loved the chronic pain representation with Bram. I absolutely adored it. That's something I loved a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and this whole like the inner conflict with him at the end with one of the twins. Like,
yes.
That was so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Tessa Dare will she'll hit you with how serious things can get. But I still think it's done well. It's not too abrupt. I think she does a pretty good job of transitioning us into the more serious parts of the story. But yeah, that got real. Not only with the twin, but with Susanna too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think, Samantha, like you said, maybe that wasn't your favorite part of the book, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, things get serious. And I also I forgot that this had the disability representation with Bram.
Yes.
And Ava brought up the scene where Susanna's helping him rehabilitate.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like the device that she had him using in the water and stuff like that.
I loved that part so much. Yeah.
That weighted device was so smart. Yeah.
Because you do have those people who have disabilities or are chronically ill and they refuse to like believe it, kind of. They're like, oh, I'm the same. I'm completely fine. There's nothing to worry about. I don't have to work on this. It's fine. I'm still myself. And Susanna was like, you are you, but also like you're hurting your body by not accommodating to what you need. So
yeah,
like showed him that.
And she paid attention to him long enough too. I love how you see her mind kind of churning before that scene, because she watches the way that he's walking and how he's like trying to mask his pain. Yeah. And then I think she has like a conversation with Minerva, and then she goes to him. I'm like, okay, so this is like, I think that was also exemplar of like her paying attention to him long enough and like seeing where his trauma was, seeing that he just needed a hug, seeing how she could like add to him. Okay, we love women that can do that. Okay,
right.
I was like really hoping, and thankfully too, like he's able to like see those things in return. It's the third act, we're in the umpteenth hour when we realize that she's dealing with abandonment issues, like that shiny dangling, like, that Willy Wonka ticket was really shiny and he wanted to like take it and like have it, his cake and eat it too, but he does show up for her in like the most scariest way. Like she's kind of set us up with the traumas and stuff like that. And then kind of hit us in the third act. I'm like, whoa, this is all coming out of nowhere. But I liked how like she paid attention to him long enough to see past like that strong battering ram of masculinity and be like, you need this. We're getting in this water.
Yes.
Here's a kiss. Do it in a leg.
You're right.
I love it.
All right. I think that's going to be everything for this live show, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am so happy that we had this chat today. This made my day.
Yes, me too.
Man, I just had the most fun rereading these books, and so like getting to just gush about them with you guys and then you all in the comments, like it's just wonderful, and I can't wait to continue on really, really soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us. I'm very happy to see 30 people watching, which is pretty good for live shows, like especially like on my channel. I don't usually get like a ton of people, but that's pretty good for me, 30 people. So just being real. Yeah. And then, like I said, we will see you guys in a couple of weeks on Samantha's channel.
Yay! Exciting.
Yeah. I know. See you guys in the next one.
All right.
Good day, everyone.
Bye. Bye.